company were astonished to see how quickly and orderly the troops formed and maneuvered into different battle formations. Later, General Washington distributed the members of the model company throughout the Army to teach what they had been taught. Through this simple emphasis on drill, the effectiveness and efficiency of the Continental Army greatly improved. In 1779, to ensure continuity and uniformity, von Steuben wrote the American Army's first field manual, the regulations for the order and discipline of the troops of the United States, commonly referred to as the Blue Book. You will see cadets saluting throughout the parade on the command of Present Arms. Since the earliest of times, men of arms have used some form of salute as a means of greeting one another. In the age of chivalry, horse-mounted knights wore steel armor which completely covered the face and body. When two friendly knights met, they would each lift their visors with their right hand to expose their faces to each other and use their left hand to hold the horse's reins. Not only did this allow the knights to recognize each other, but it was also a deliberate movement of their sword hand away from their swords. Over time, this action became a significant gesture of friendship, camaraderie, and respect. The act of raising the right hand to the visor continued even after steel body armor became obsolete with the invention of modern firearms. Today, the most commonly observed form of this exchange is the hand salute. It is given as a recognition and friendly greeting to a comrade in the honorable profession of arms. For today's parade, spectators are reminded to stand and render appropriate courtesies for honors, our national anthem, and when the colors pass by your position. It is appropriate for civilians at these times to stand with the right hand placed over the heart. Veterans and currently serving members of the U.S. Armed Forces who are not in uniform may render the hand salute. Spectators are also reminded not to smoke or drink and to please refrain from loud talking during the parade. As a courtesy to others seated around you, kindly take all of your pictures from your seat throughout the ceremony. Today's parade represents the acceptance of the class of 2023 into the Corps of Cadets. This parade also signifies the promotion of the class of 2023 from new cadets to cadet privates. The class of 2022 was promoted to the rank of cadet corporal in a ceremony at Camp Buckner on July 27th. The classes of 2021 and 2020 were promoted to the ranks of cadet sergeant and cadet officer respectively in ceremonies conducted in May at the end of graduation week. Shortly, you will observe two formations of cadets units facing each other on the plain. The class of 2023, commanded by the Brigade Command Sergeant Major, Cadet Command Sergeant Major Kevin Chittick, will form to your immediate front facing the upper class companies they will soon join.
Good morning. We're glad you could join us for the Acceptance Day Parade at West Point. Today, the class of 2023 will be accepted into the Corps. Please let us know where you're watching from. We know you're excited at home as we are here at West Point. Congratulations to the class of 2023 and their families. To answer the question about what time the parade will start, it will start probably in about 5 minutes. Actually, maybe a little less than 5 minutes.
This guy? Hip-hop music here.
Get your swerve on. So this guy, by the way, is totally dark. I'm not a cool today. So, Joe Baker. Yeah, Fellow Rocks, man. Fellow Rocks. Bring them both, man. That's it.
Currently assembled on the plains, United States Military Academy Band and the band's field music group, the Hellcats. At the time of the American Revolution, the band consisted of a single drummer and fifer and has evolved into one of the most capable and professional performing groups in the world. As the oldest musical organization in the United States Army, the West Point Band has been inspiring America's leaders for over 200 years. The bugle call just heard was attention. It is used to alert the cadet commanders that the ambulance call is about to sound, signaling the start of the parade. Bugle calls are used in the military service in the United States as a direct result of the contact of the Continental Army with European soldiers and armies during the Revolutionary period. Marching in today's parade are cadets from allied nations enrolled in the 4-year program at the United States Military Academy. Upon graduation, they will serve in the armed forces of their respective countries. There are currently 57 allied cadets representing 35 different countries as members of the Corps of Cadets. 16 allied cadets are members of the class of 2023. Also marching in today's parade are exchange midshipmen from the United States Naval Academy, cadets from the United States Air Force Academy, and the United States Coast Guard Academy. They are attending West Point for the fall semester and can be identified by the uniform of their respective academies. A similar number of West Point cadets are attending the other service academies for the same period. The marches that will be played as cadets march onto the plain are the Regiment's Return and On Parade.
For anyone watching from home, the cadets that you see that are marching from down the sides of the field are the plebes. And the plebes will take their places near the flags. The significance of the flags is their company. And so they will take their place by their company. And then at a certain point later in the parade, you'll see them join their company on the field. turn the camera a bit so that you can see the right side, 3rd and 4th Regiments. And then over here on the left side, 1st and 2nd Regiments. A little better view of 1st and 2nd Regiments as they fill in. Turn to the other side. You can see 3rd and 4th Regiments filling in. A lot of family and friends here today supporting the new cadets.
marches that will be played as United States Military Academy Band Troops of the Line are National Emblem and Washington Post. This march across the front of the line is said to have originated with the Crusades. The troops offering themselves for service were drawn up in a long formation, and the band countermarched only before those chosen to serve. The commander of troops for today's parade is Brigade Commander, Cadet First Captain Dane Vanderwall from Glenelg, Maryland. His staff consists of the Brigade Deputy Commander, Cadet Captain Michael Worth from Rochester, New York. Brigade Adjutant, Cadet Captain Ruben Arderi from Naples, Florida. Brigade Public Affairs Officer, Cadet Captain Robert Norwood from Siloam Springs, Arkansas. The Brigade Operations Officer, Cadet Captain Amir Mohammed from Staten Island, New York. Brigade Logistics Officer, Cadet Captain Joshua Phillips from Chicago, Illinois, and the Brigade Information Systems Officer, Cadet Captain Charleston Rowe from Dedido, Guam.
At this point, the companies are making room to receive the new cadets. They will join their companies shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2023. The march that is being played as the fourth class takes their position in the corps is the Rookies. The reviewing party for today's parade consists of Lieutenant General Darrell A. Williams, Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Class of 1983. Command Sergeant Major Jack H. Love, Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy. Colonel Curtis A. Buzzard, Commandant of the United States Corps of Cadets, Class of 1992. And Brigadier General Cindy R. Jebb, Dean of the Academic Board, Class of 1982. Seated in the Superintendent's reviewing box today are Colonel Retired Francis Monaco, Class of 1970. Colonel Retired John Clements, Class of 1971. Lieutenant General Retired Gary Spear, Class of 1972. And Colonel Retired Robert Kane Jr., Class of 1973. Representing the classes of 1970, 1971, 1972, and 1973 as part of the West Point Association of Graduates 50-year affiliation program that connects the senior classes with the current four classes in the Corps of Cadets. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for honors and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Please feel free to sing along as our national anthem is played. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our alma mater, the most beloved of all West Point songs. The words of the alma mater were written by Cadet Paul S. Reinecke during his second year at the Academy. On June 9, 1912, 1 year after Reinecke's graduation, the alma mater was sung in the baccalaureate service for the first time and took its place as a musical expression of the feelings of every West Point graduate towards their alma mater. Alumni traditionally remove their headgear and stand at attention for the playing of the alma mater. You are cordially invited to sing along with us as the alma mater is played. Please be seated.
The Pass and Review serves two functions for the superintendent. It dismisses the cadets and at the same time provides an opportunity to inspect the state of discipline and training. The marches that will be played as the cadets Pass and Review are America Exultant, the official West Point March, Saber and Spurs, the Thunderer, Bugles and Drums, and The Army Goes Rolling Along. The United States Military Academy Band is under the direction of the commander, Lieutenant Colonel Todd Addison, with the drum major, Sergeant Major Glenn West.
as they approach the reviewing party. So you'll hear the names.
The 1st Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Eden
here
Elizabeth
we go.
Phillips from Blacksburg, Virginia. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Benjamin Jones from Ellicott City, Maryland. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Christopher Forden from Rancho Mirage, California. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Jacob Morgan from Grafton, West Virginia. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Hannah White from Greenville, South Carolina. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Anant Ghosh from Chelsea, Michigan. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Brent Towery from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Kaylee Smith from Saunderstown, Rhode Island. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Delaney Marbach from Stevenson Ranch, California. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Benjamin Radcliffe from Columbus, Ohio. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Seamus McGettigan from Ottawa, Illinois. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major James Larson from Richmond, Virginia. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain James Niemeyer from Birmingham, Michigan. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Isaac Nawa from Reading, Pennsylvania. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Taylor Krug from Olympia, Washington. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Daniel McGough from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Jacob Stauffer from Euclid, Ohio. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Sophia Andel from Juno Beach, Florida. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Tyler Kopishki from Havertown, Pennsylvania. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Sarah Klena from Catawissa, Pennsylvania. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Emma Powers from Darien, Connecticut. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Holt Parrish from Raleigh, North Carolina. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Keneen Manuel from Las Vegas, Nevada. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Emma Beacon from Augusta, Maine. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Connor Sprout from Olive Branch, Mississippi. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Mason Romandelli from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. The 2nd Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Alex Albright from Copper Canyon, Texas. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Arlena Shala from Prizren, Kosovo. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Brian Savage from South Windsor, Connecticut. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Mary Monard from Newville, Pennsylvania. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Ian McCool from Louisville, North Carolina. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Haley Cosma from Plattsmouth, Nebraska. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Samuel Humphreys from Sammamish, Washington. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Alexander Least from Rochester, New York. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain William Moorhead from Clearwater, Florida. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Austin Henson from Bristol, Tennessee. The second battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Murray Johnston from Alexandria, Virginia. The battalion command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Brian Kim from Westwood, New Jersey. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Zebulon Morgan from Thompson Station, Tennessee. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Ryan Johnson from Tampa, Florida. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Robert Anderson from Greenwich, Connecticut. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Nathan Osolsky from Freedens, Pennsylvania. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain John Ziomek from Ellington, Connecticut. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Sekou Mateso from Fairborn, Georgia. The third battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Henry Smith from Alpharetta, Georgia. The battalion command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Waikon Zoon from Singapore. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Donia Nichols from Arlington, Virginia. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Colin Limp from Wildwood, Missouri. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Truman Gabriel from Portland, Oregon. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Evan Walker from Rowlett, Texas. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Robert Moore from Vienna, Virginia. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Patrick Lang from Washington Crossing, Pennsylvania. Since the days of the American Revolution, flag bearers have been an important element in ceremonies. At the center of today's formation, and bearing the national colors, is the United States Corps of Cadets Color Guard, led by Cadet Color Captain Akil Johnson from Murrieta, California. Marching with the colors is the Brigade Command Sergeant Major, Cadet Sergeant Major Kevin Shinnick from Milford, Massachusetts.
The 3rd Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Montgomery Potter from Graham, Washington. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Connor Long from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Preston Butler from Albany, New York. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Felix Thibodeau from Etna, Maine. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Nikita Paraverzin from San Diego, California. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Alexandra Martin from Two Dot, Montana. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Ethan Bloom from Springfield, Illinois. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Gabrielle White from Cleveland, Ohio. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Connor McDonald from Vipersville, Pennsylvania. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Trayvon Turner from Bethesda, Maryland. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Jason Green from Powderly, Texas. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Jason Oxaloo from Hoover, Alabama. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Kyle Garwood from Claremont, California. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Brianna Burnett from Orlando, Florida. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Dalton Burke from Yelm, Washington. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Sky Merriam from Sarasota, Florida. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Hayes Greer from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Caroline Mitchell from Monterey, California. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Jordan Stevens from Framingham, Massachusetts. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Narissa Seawitz from Michigan City, Indiana. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Zachary Aloma from Simi Valley, California. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Benjamin Hoffman from Cincinnati, Ohio. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Luke Rose from Fort Wayne, Indiana. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Grace Echeverria from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Kendrick Thomas from Dallas, Texas. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Katarina Christensen from Carver, Minnesota. The 4th Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Dion Paranon from the United States Virgin Islands. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Maddie Burns from Ridgefield, Connecticut. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Jacqueline Hamrick from Grays Lake, Illinois. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Stephen Rylander from Stowe, Ohio. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Ivanka Nisor from Cypress, California. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Zachary Calderon from Jackson, Michigan. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Andrew Winsky from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Patrick Duffy from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Brody Rock from Ticonderoga, New York. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Joshua Sabasco from Glenwood, West Virginia. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Zachary Carville from Osborne, Virginia. The battalion command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Justin Cooper from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Jared Broussard from Manchester, New Hampshire. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Dane Rickerston from Eagan, Minnesota. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Ashley King from San Antonio, Texas. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Mark Jaskett from Burke, Virginia. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Joshua Fonseca from Ponytown, Maryland. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Zachary Whitten from Bluffton, South Carolina. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Emily McKinney from Southwick, Massachusetts. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Thomas Moore from Weston, Florida. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Joshua Mooney from Sparks, Nevada. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Connor Yaus from Cincinnati, Ohio. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Brian Suarez from San Francisco, California. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant David Witt from Eagle, Colorado. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Ainsley Davenport from Alexandria, Kentucky. The First Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Reuben Jones from Durham, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song. The Army goes rolling along. Please feel free to sing along as it is played. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's 4th Class Acceptance Day Parade. Please remain in your seats as the United States Military Academy parachute team will now conduct a free-fall demonstration. We would like to remind everyone to please stay off the plane and out of the cadet areas as you exit the parade grounds. Thank you for attending and enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, don't go away. We've got a show for you with the West Point parachute team.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Cadet Jordan Davis from Company I-2, and it is my privilege and pleasure to narrate for you today this amazing demonstration of precision freefall accuracy performed by your West Point parachute team, the Black Knights. Please direct your attention skyward as 6 highly trained jumpers approach 3,000 feet in our LUH-72 Alpha, the Lakota aircraft, on their way up to an altitude of 3,500 feet. We are 1 minute from exit and the Lakota is on jump run. The jump master is in communication with the jumpers through a series of hand and arm signals known as jump commands. His head is out in the wind as he gives the pilot precise adjustments to ensure the proper exit point. You can hear and see the Lakota flying across the sky as the jumpers wait for the exit command from the jump master. Stand by! Takes his heading and the remaining jumpers fly their bodies apart using their arms, hands, and legs as flight controls. The team leader waves his arms, signaling the jumpers to deploy their parachutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 6 good canopies in the air! The team is piloting sport accuracy canopies. They control their flight into the plane with 2 steering toggles. The jumpers can pull either toggle in their desired direction to maneuver the canopy in the sky. The jumpers work together to create horizontal and vertical separation, making a formation known as the stack. Joining the team on the field today is Miss Carol and Maddie Terry. Miss Carol is the wife of Fred Terry, a founding member of the parachute team, class of 1960, and she is joined by her granddaughter, Maddie. Their presence today represents the 62 continuous years of parachute team support in the United States Military Academy. The aircraft in today's demonstration is flown by pilots from the 2nd Aviation Detachment stationed at Stewart Air Force. The team would like to thank our incredibly talented pilots for their dedication and support shown to the parachute team.
You'll see the parachutes come into view here in just a couple of seconds.
At 1,000 feet, the jumper does what is called a penetration check, checking their distance and speed across the ground. The jumper starts their pattern with a downwind leg, followed by a base leg, and finishes their pattern by turning into the wind for their final approach. The first jumper has completed their pattern and is now on their final approach. At this height, the jumpers under canopy can definitely hear encouragement from the crowd. And leading in the stack today is Sergeant First Class Ian McGlynn. Sergeant McGlynn is our team's non-commissioned officer and in charge and has over 1,121 jumps. Let's welcome in Sergeant McGlynn! Great landing. Coming in next is Paul Carapi. Cadet Carapi is from New Canaan, Connecticut, and is a member of Company D2. Let's give a loud and welcome to Cadet Carapi as he completes jump number 408. Beautiful landing! Up next in the stack is Henry Newstrom from Seattle, Washington. Cadet Newstrom is a member of Company A1 and today is completing jump number 367. Put your hands together for Cadet Newstrom! Fourth in the stack is Connor McQueen from Begonia, Michigan. Cadet McQueen is a member of Company H1. Today, he is completing jump number 226. Put your hands together for Cadet McQueen! Up next in the stack is our team captain, Jack King from Winslow, Indiana.
Cadet King is a member of Company E3 and today is completing jump number 226. Put your hands together for Cadet King! Finishing the stack today for your Black Knights and jumping our nation's colors is Zach Danes from Logan, Utah. Cadet Danes is a member of Company B3. Today, he's completing jump number 371. Put your hands together for Cadet Danes! Ladies and gentlemen, show your support for the Wings of West Point as the pilots of 2nd Aviation Detachment perform a flyby. Let's give our jumpers another round of applause for a job well done. This concludes today's demonstration. On behalf of the Black Knights Parachute Team, thank you for support. Blue skies and go Army, big Navy!
One last look around. Amazing crowd here today at West Point. And we thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed this live stream, Acceptance Day Parade, August 17, 2019. Congratulations to the class of 2023. Have a terrific day.